Joe, how you doing?
Oh, very well, sir. Thank you.
Good. I'm just gonna say, yeah, this is Doug Gibson from Plan 9 Crunch. We're interviewing author Joe Overbay right now. And Joe, how was your October?
My October was great. It was a horror-filled October.
How many movies did you watch?
Oh God. I lost track, but they were all good ones.
Well, you live in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yep.
talked a few months ago, but I wanted to have a conversation because I know a couple of books have come out. But I watched 107 movies during October, and
I may be right up there with you, but I didn't count it off or anything like that.
I'm obsessive
Uh,
that way. But I made sure I actually watched 108, but I watched Dracula twice. I didn't count that one.
God.
Well, there's so many out there. You could watch 200 if you had the time and everything. Now,
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to give a little bit of a background right now. Joe has written War of the Monsters, Trilogy of Terror. You have written Rise of the Beast, and we'll talk about more, but right now one that came out is recently called Demon in the View. Okay, when I've read that book. Now I haven't read Twins. Is it called Twins of Dracula? The new one. I bought it, but I haven't read it yet.
Dracula's Twins of
Dracula's
Evil.
Twins of Evil. Okay, but tell us first about Demon in the View. Give us a quick little over. Don't give everything away, but give us a quick little overview of it.
Well, it's about the backstory of John Stewart Talbot, Sir John's older older son.
Tell us
Um,
the opening prologue. That's not giving it away. What happens in the book?
the prologue is where a Jacob Davenport, a confessed and convicted warlock, is about to be executed, and all during his trial, everyone wouldn't believe him that one of the top people, Judge Cornelius Talbot, was part of his COVID. So he cursed the Talbot family. He said, "I will return. 7 generations will go by and I will return and I'll see that every Talbot is dead."
Now, oh,
That'll
go
give you
on.
the gist of it.
Okay, and so his name was Cornelius Talbot, right? Was that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Judge Cornelius
So
Talbot.
was
Yeah.
he a good guy?
Uh no. He was a judge who
You don't have
dealt out
you don't
justice his way
you don't have to give
as
away
long as
too
it
much.
benefited him.
So
Yeah.
we get to John Talbot, right? Is John Talbot aware of the whole backstory as it starts to happen?
Um, when the possession takes place, I'd say yes, because he's in there, and I think I put it into uh into the book where he knows what's going on, but he can't do a thing about it.
So this brings a backstory to the Wolfman, right?
Yeah, I may have had the prequel to the Wolfman. Yeah.
I got to ask you, how many times do you watch these Universal stories to get the ideas of either the prequels or sequels that you write?
Um, I if I'm knowing I'm going to do a certain character like Larry Talbot, for
Mhm,
instance,
mhm.
I will go back to the Wolfman and the Wolfman movies and go over them. Um, for this one, this guy doesn't have one, so I had to make everything up as I went.
But you had to
You know,
draw on the
so
character of Claude Rains, right? Claude Rains plays for this
oh
book.
yeah. I have him to draw from. You know, and he's throughout the whole thing. Um, and I could see Lon Chaney playing his brother,
Mhm.
and so I envisioned those two
Wait. I
out.
made a mistake. I said John Talbot. I meant Claude Rains' character.
well, Sir John.
Yeah, Sir John versus John. I just wanted to confuse people. So you drew on Claude Rains for Sir John, right? And
Yeah.
but John Talbot is somebody you have to create, don't you? The son.
Yeah. So, but I still envisioned Lon Chaney playing that part.
Oh,
And it sort of gave me a little bit of an edge because if you look at the portrait picture, they do look alike. They could pass for twins,
that's a good point. I
but
hadn't realized that.
they were born so many years apart. I forget the age difference, but I clarified that in Rise of the Beast, though.
Yeah,
Uh,
you did. And we did. And we talked
yeah.
about that at one time. I think it's interesting that the Universal pictures, even though we all love them, often leave continuity problems, don't they?
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, and so
Yes, they do.
you have to figure out what's going on here and here and here and see if you can make something out of these characters.
Yeah, you're going, wait a minute, did that happen? Wait
Because Demon
a
in the View kind of gives an explanation for why the Talbots have what they have, right?
Yeah, they're a cursed family, and you know, and then I made up the character. I think in Rise of the Beast, Charles Davenport,
Hmm.
which is an ancestor to Jacob Davenport. Um, you know, and they were the Talbots back in their day were very corrupt. Cornelius was a corrupt judge.
Hmm.
You know, and if you permit me, I'm making a prequel to my prequel
Really?
called The Warlock's Curse,
Oh,
which will bring Jacob Davenport to Longwelly for the first time. He'll establish his Calvin, his relationship with Cornelius will be explained, and where I drop it off, the prologue of Demon in My View comes in.
it seems to me that
So,
you're drawing from the Wolfman movies, but I sense a little bit of witchcraft in these books. The Lon Chaney movie. Am I wrong?
that and plus when I came up for the idea of what you call it, the Demon in My View, I to give John a backstory, I didn't want. Okay, I kicked around with he could have been the first Wolf Man. Nah, that would have been too tacky.
Hmm.
So I let it for a couple of days. I let it. I thought about it, and then I watched two Vincent Price movies. I watched Diary of a Madman and The Haunted Palace. I said, witchcraft and possession. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. Both those
And
movies have that.
I followed through with it. And it came out. If I might pat myself on the back, if you let me, it came out damn good.
Yeah, it's a good story, and you can get it at Amazon. I own it. And so Demon in the View came out a little while ago, and I want to go to. Well, first, I want to take a detour here. Tell us,
Okay.
you told me you write with a voice activation on your phone, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How do you do that? Because it would drive me crazy. I just,
Well, what I do is, I go to my Google Docs, you know, and I just I get an idea, I jot it down, and when I got the gist of what I want to do, I go to my Google Docs, I hit the little microphone button, and I dictate right into the phone.
okay, so this is a key thing. I was thinking he's just dictating from the beginning. No, you are making notes. And when you feel you're
Yeah,
confident to say something, then you go to Google Docs. Okay, that
yeah,
makes a lot
mhm,
of sense because maybe I could try it that way. Because whenever I try just to talk like I'm sitting down to write, it's turned into
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So how long does it take you to write a novella on Google
Oh
Docs?
God.
Voice activation.
With voice activation, it's easy as pie. Uh, I usually take about a good month for each novella.
Okay. So I think what I'm
Cause
learning here is that you actually make notes before you do it, though, right?
yeah. I
Okay.
make notes about how I want the
Yeah.
characters to be who I see as the character.
Mhm.
Like for Jacob Davenport, you know, in the prequel to the Demon in My View, the Warlock's Curse, I envision Vincent Price as Jacob
Interesting.
Davenport,
Interesting. Jacob.
and Christopher Lee as Cornelius Talbot.
Christopher Lee, I could see as Cornelius Talbot. I can see Vincent Price too, but sometimes Vincent Price, in my opinion, even though I love the guy, sometimes has his tongue in his cheek when he's performing. He'd have to be more
Yeah,
like
true.
he'd have to be more like Witchfinder General Vincent Price, I think.
Well, yeah. Funny that you mentioned that because I put Matthew Hopkins in the Warlock's Curse.
No kidding. No
I put
kidding.
Matthew Hopkins plays a pivotal role in that.
That's
So
interesting.
that'll be coming out. I got Bill is editing one. Kirsten is formatting another. So the Warlock's Curse will maybe be out in January or February, ready to go.
Okay, now when you mentioned Bill, it's Bill Fleck. He's your editor, right?
Yeah,
He's
he
an
did. He
author
did
of
a
some Lon Chaney biographies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I put maybe sure I put them in my want list
oh,
at
definitely.
Amazon.
Well, I mean, I should. I bought all your stuff in Kindle. I need to get off my butt and buy the Dead Tree stuff sometime. What was I going to say now? Tell us a little bit. I have not read it. I bought it. I just have other things I have to do right now, and it's not that I'm putting you aside. It's that the other things involve money. All right, so, anyways, um, Dracula, Dracula's twins. Give me the name one more time.
Dracula's Twins of Evil.
Evil. Yeah, tell us about what that is. Okay.
Well, that is it's got several stories in it. Alatos and Zana are Dracula's son and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are the twins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it is about stories about the most dysfunctional family that is always at each other's throats at one time, but will stand up for each other the next. And I think I've even interwoven Latos with the Punisher in one of the stories.
Interesting.
Uh,
You've written some Dracula short stories and other books, I believe.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I pitted Dracula up against the Frankenstein monster
Mm-hmm.
in War of the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, yeah. Dracula is the James Bond of the Universal canon. Always gets all the beautiful women. He's dressed impeccable. You know, I've always loved him. I've always did, and yeah, but it's about a dysfunctional family, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also got I think about 13 poems about the real Vlad the Impaler in it, and
That's interesting.
I yeah, it's got quite a few short stories in it, um, and it's got the 13 poems in it.
Well, I'll have it
So
read by
I hope you
December
enjoy it.
25th. I will definitely read it. Let's go back a little bit to what began your writing, because you're pretty prolific now. All right. What was when did it really start going to your writing these short stories and novellas?
Well, it happened. I've always had the ambition to write uh, all throughout my life. Uh, One of my teachers wanted me to go to writing school, and mom and dad didn't have the money, but so that put it on stop. Uh, and finally, when I got disabled at work and I was laid up for a good 8 weeks, I started writing. It was my notepad, my notepad, my phone, and my little Chihuahua nurse. She would not leave me while I was convalescing, and I started writing. So what you is coming out now was done within those 8 weeks. Some of them, plus when I went back to work, I I was on light duty. would write at my lunch hour, and then when the doctor finally said I couldn't do my job anymore, that's when it really started. I would lock myself down in my basement, you know, and I would write and write and write.
But you need to have a basic knowledge of these films, right? To create characters in them, right? To create
I,
offsprings of the films.
I tell you what, yeah, I find it easier basing them on these characters that I know because, case in point, it took me 2 years, 2 years to do Night of the Demon, which was totally made up from scratch,
Hmm, hmm.
and Bill is editing that right now. That big headache, but he says he enjoys it, so I'm not going to argue with him if he enjoys it. Oh well, they good.
No, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's good to have a good editor. That's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, I want to give him props because the pro, the prequel of The Demon in My View was his, and the last chapter, Larry's Destiny, right before the epilogue, Bill came up with,
Mm,
and I did. I had a. I when I read those two, I said, "Oh my God,
that's
boy, did I pick the right person."
no, it's good to have a good editor. I wanted to ask you something. What do you think? Are you publishing primarily with Arcane Shadows Press then?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And do you ever look forward to like going to any kind of if they have a booth or a table at some convention? Are you hoping to go to that someday?
I would love to get if we could get one over at the Chiller convention here in Parsippany, up in my neck of the woods, because all the ones that Brad and Kurt and them go to are all out of the way for me. And since my stroke, I'm no good with long drives.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I told Brad, if we can get a table in Parsippany at the Chiller convention, I'll be there.
When is the Chiller convention?
They hold it twice a year at the weekend of Halloween, and sometime in the spring.
Hmm.
I forget which because I never went to that one. I only went to the one on Halloween.
Well,
That
I've got tickets. I don't know if Arcane Shadow is going to be there, but I decided to finally go to one. I'm going to Monster Bash next summer.
well,
Um,
Brad will probably be there. Brad and Kurt will probably be there.
okay, because I'd
Yeah,
like to at least see a book, that I'm familiar with on a table. Plus, I've never been in that kind of environment, so I'm looking forward to going to the tables and everything like that. Well, I find it
yeah,
interesting that you dealt with a stroke, and part of getting back from all this was a re-energization of your writing. Tell a lot of people want to write, yet they don't know how to do it. I always tell them just to sit down and do it. But what advice do you have to somebody who wants to write but just feels like they
if,
can't do it?
if they never say never. I got to say that right up front.
Hmm.
You know, and you gotta want it. And if you want it, don't force it. Let it come.
Hmm.
Even if it's writing poetry, write about something you love. If you love a flower, write about a flower. I love monsters. I write about monsters.
I,
You know, but never say you can't do nothing. Never say never, because I tell you what, my formatter, Kirsten Myers,
mhm.
uh, gave me a pat on the back. She said my writing has gotten better from my freshman and sophomore books, my first two.
That's
You
good.
know,
That's
and
fantastic. Well, with
and she,
more writing, obviously, there's a more sophistication of the writing, right, and things like that.
yeah, you just gotta work at it. Practice your craft. If you got to take classes to learn how to do it, take the damn classes, I would say. And but me, I love to write all my life. So
Well, when I read
It's
books by you and Kurt McCoy and Brad Braddock and Christopher Gauthier, I see the knowledge behind the subjects, all right, that you're writing about. Tell me if I'm wrong that all of you seem to go a little more violent than some of those universals were. Am I incorrect about
well,
that?
yeah, yeah. I tend to get yeah, I tend to get a little bit more violent than the Hays Code would
The
allow
Hays Code would
Universal
allow.
to
Good
do.
point. I was reading a book, at least I think they were short stories by Kurt McCoy. And I'm thinking, geez, these wouldn't have made it in 1950. Some of the stuff he's writing about. But
Have
it,
you have
but they're still entertaining, all right?
Oh yeah, but I tell you what, if you want a dark book like that, read Memoirs of Murder
I
by
know
Brad.
I have read Memoirs of Murder. In fact, I told Brad, wow, that's really pushing the envelope
That
there.
is really gruesome. Some of the stuff is gruesome in that,
Yeah,
and
yeah, you're right.
I I just got Chris's new book,
Well, Chris's
and
first book
I
was
was
there.
going, oh my god,
Well, there's some interesting. Yeah, Chris is writing about a famous actor's who revenge against the people who have sought to destroy him in Hollywood. And yeah,
oh
it
yeah,
gets pretty intense. Um,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more thing too, or actually a few more things. Um, what are some genres in the horror that you have not hit yet, but you're thinking maybe in the future I might write about this?
Hmm. Let's see.
Because
I dealt
there's
with
there's the
vampire.
Italian films. There's stuff.
Well, I've got a whole I got a I got a whole manuscript dedicated to Paul Nashi
Oh, Paul
and
Nashi,
his
huh?
and
Okay,
his uh werewolf character Waldemar Daniski. I got a whole book, from his first bite all the way to his maybe his death.
that's interesting. What's your favorite Nashi film?
I my first my favorite Frankenstein's Bloody Terror.
Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. Okay, um, I kind of like him. I like a lot of his stuff, but I like him in Count Dracula's Great Love, believe it or not. But
That is
the
I got almost all his films. So
the
I
one that had a lot of potential, but they didn't spend as much money on it was the one called Frankenstein versus Dracula or Assignment Terror, what it was called.
Oh, the one with Michael Rennie. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like they suddenly pulled the plug on the budget in the middle of that one or something. But it is an
That one
entertaining
and
film.
Fury of the Wolfman.
Yeah, Fury of the Wolfman. Um,
You know.
I think a Nashi book would be interesting because he is somebody who's famous but hasn't really been looked at very much.
Well,
Um,
I got a couple of books. Uh one's called Human Beasts and one's got his name on it, about him personally. I think Midnight Marquee put it out.
did they Midnight Marquee, were they purchased by who purchased them recently? Oh, I think Bear Manor Media finally purchased them recently.
Oh yeah,
Midnight
because
Marquee.
that's where the first chillers came out of was
Yeah,
Midnight
I remember.
Marquee.
Did you have a story in Chiller?
Nah. I met Brad. I met I met Brad after the fact.
So you didn't have a story in the monothal monothal I can't pronounce it. The
Nah,
monogram.
that one either. Nah,
But
I
you
started off.
but you had one in the Ed
Huh?
Wood, didn't you?
Yeah, I had one of the Ed Wood. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only one I've contributed to. That's why it'd be kind of cool to go to like Monster Bash and see that book for sale or something.
Oh yeah. Well, Brad, and Kurt and them try to have everybody's books on
Mhm.
the table. you know.
Can I ask you something about,
And
oh, go on, go on. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
on.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead. Go
I've
ahead.
noticed you've written some poetry and posted it on social media. Do you have a
That
poetry
they
anthology coming out?
Well, I got a book. I got a book called Children of the Night coming out. It's going to have a Lactose story, Bound by Blood,
Hmm.
Zana, Dracula's daughter, Love's Dark Embrace, where I bring the vampire Anton Wojtek back
Hmm.
because he's the one I wrote about in Children of the Sun for the Ed Wood,
Exactly.
and Revenge of Dracula, which is a sequel to The Return of Dracula with Francis Lederer. And then you're going to have 13 poems,
13 poems.
right, chalked up in there. And I think about three of them I
Oh, yeah,
posted on
you
Facebook.
had a poem that was pretty intense about some kind of massacre in a religious setting.
The
Yeah,
monastery
yeah.
massacre.
Is that going to be in there?
You, oh yes, that's one of them, and I'm going to put the nursery. The nursery was another one I
Hmm.
put up on Facebook,
Hmm.
and I think the very first one was the plague ship. I just want to give everybody a little bit of a tease.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, my thank Monastery Massacre. That was a good one.
Now tell me, what's the difference between writing prose and writing poetry in this genre?
Uh, the poetry I got to think about a little bit more because you want it to sound like poetry first of all, and the subject matter of vampires is okay. I need to put blood, gore, fangs, children of the night, stuff like that. And, but I think about the poems more than I do about the stories I do.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
try to put more because it's shorter than a story is. You could put a lot into a story, but you got to hit the reader
Hmm.
1, 2, 3 punch with
Hmm.
a poem.
Well,
So
poem almost seems like it has to have a rhythm to it, right? To some degree.
yeah,
Yeah.
some poems, yeah, yeah.
They
And
don't have to
I
rhyme,
try
of
to
course, but yeah.
well, I try to make them rhyme as much as
I
I
noticed
could.
that. That was interesting. How many hours when you're trying to write, and you seem to be writing constantly now, how many hours do you devote during the day?
Uh, as much as my wife will allow,
Know the
because she
truth.
gets a little bit mad sometimes because I'm constantly on the phone revising stuff. We were at the kitchen table this morning having coffee, and you know, um, I wanted to finish up a story that I was doing called "The Branding Legacy," and I came up with a cool ending. I said, "Whoa, wait a minute!" In mid, I put the fork down, and jotted it down. And if the name branding doesn't mean anything to you and you don't remember, it's the name of the teacher from Blood of Dracula.
Okay, I mean, I've seen that movie, but I had not. I had just got remembered that now because I
I brought the girl Nancy back,
yeah.
the teenage Wolfman, and the teenage Frankenstein, and put them all into one story. And it is bloody and graphic.
Well, that just gave me a new question, though. You write a first draft. How many drafts go through on these books?
Uh, what I do is I'll write the first draft, put it on my phone, and then I'll go over it in the phone where I can just, you know, uh, uh, X certain words out or certain paragraphs out and redo them. And I can do that by voice. So that's what I do. And it takes sometimes I think the most I've done with one was 7 drafts.
7 drafts. Okay, well, that's not uncommon. You have to get it where you think it's right, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And so far, Bill has said he loves the one I gave him. So,
Now, how does a good editor make your story better?
well, it always pays to have an extra set of eyes,
Mhm.
and they say two heads are better than one.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
while we were doing The Demon in My View, Bill would constantly get in touch with me via text, email, or you know, or phone call, and we would have, we would talk for about half an hour to an hour, and and sometimes I love his ideas, and sometimes I would say, nah, I don't want it to end that way.
Mhm, mhm,
I had a problem with the editor when I was doing my first book. He said during the Latos Lord of the Undead story, he said I wasn't giving a retribution to the audience, to the viewer. I said, the heck with it. I want him to come back. I killed him first. He came back. So what?
That reminds
Universal
me
monsters do that.
that
You
reminds
know?
me that reminds me of an editor. I was writing about a demon, or a ghost, whatever it was, and it was in a haunted hotel, and I had the ghost demon hissing, and the editor said, "Hissing sounds stupid," and I said, "My ghosts hiss, okay?" Like, I understand, I have empathy with what you're doing. I mean, you have a thing you wanna say sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, and Brad let one he because he had an editor on each story in that book, and he had a woman doing his honest story. And we women do not talk like that. I said, you women are worse than we men are. Talking about the size of the size and how
Mhm,
long they last and all that.
mhm. I
You know, and yeah,
well,
it was funny.
I got a question for you that suddenly came to mind. Do you ever write when you write these sequels or prequels to Universal, do you ever worry that maybe your character is moving away from what Universal would have, and you wanna keep them within that kind of, mindset? Or do you don't mind if you just go beyond what the other films might have had? I hope that question makes sense.
Well, I think what I took the Dracula character, and I think I did surpass what Universal had in mind for him.
Mhm.
Because with Dracula Twins of Evil, you know, my Dracula is more violent. He's more evil, but I could see Lugosi playing him. But
That's I guess
you
that's
know,
what my question was. Do you see these characters as fitting in with their Universal actor counterpoints when
yeah,
you do?
yeah,
Okay.
I do,
Okay,
I
good.
do. The one that uh, uh, Kirsten's got now, Legion of Darkness. I redid 4 Universal movies. I brought them up into the our century,
Mhm.
but I kept the same tone, atmosphere, and characters
Oh, that's
as
good.
the originals. And plus, I gave them different names.
Nice. I look forward to
So
seeing that someday in the
well,
future.
that would should be coming out before the end of this month, early December.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna try to spend a half hour a day reading the Dracula Twins book so I can get caught up on that. 'Cause
Well, uh my recommendation for that one, you I think I got my favorite is Blood and Shadow.
Blood and
Uh,
Shadow,
you
huh?
know, Blood and Shadow is War in the Streets. It's where Latos and the Punisher are united against a common enemy. That's one of my favorites.
Do you have any interests, outside of what you're planning to write? Like, I'll give you an example. I love Christmas ghost stories. I go searching for 19th century Christmas ghost stories. I don't know if I'll ever write one, but what are some things outside of your own genre in writing that you enjoy?
Science fiction.
You love science fiction. Who are your favorite authors?
H.G. Wells, Isaac Asimov, um, just to name a few,
Mhm.
a couple. Um, Jules Verne.
Jules Verne. Okay, I also
I
love
do.
Who's the guy that
You
wrote
know,
Tarzan? I like that guy myself. Edgar.
oh, you mean Edgar Rice
Yeah,
Burroughs?
yeah, I used to enjoy him as a kid.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he's one of my favorite authors.
he is. There's another guy, Edgar Wallace, who's British, who wrote Dark Eyes of London, which is the human
Yeah,
monster movie. And so I sought him out to read that book, and I got captivated. And I read like 4 or 5 of his books since, and they're all free on Amazon because he's a old author, you know. So,
good. Well, I got recently I got the actual book, The Undying Monster. The movie was done,
no
and
kidding.
the and the horror
No
that
kidding. That's fascinating.
Diary of Madman was done.
Really, that's fun to find the books the movies are based on.
Oh hell yeah, yes, yes.
And you
You
see where
know,
they change things too, you know, sometimes in
oh yeah,
adaptations and
because
everything. Well,
yeah,
I think this has been a
uh,
fun conversation because you provided us the life of writing and how you write and things like that. Is there anything I might have missed that you want to convey to people about your love of the genre and how you're trying to express it through
well,
your literature?
what I'm trying to do is to make these characters fresh and viable to you know our generation that's coming up now. Because my grandson's case in point love to read it when I'm writing, and plus, when they come downstairs to get the laundry and see an old black and white movie on, they'll sit down and watch it with me. And I was playing the creature from the Black Lagoon yesterday. It's wonderful to see kids of this day watch that, and I want these characters to live
I
for
agree.
the
I
generation after them.
I just saw that
Yeah.
movie in with 3D glasses recently
Oh, yeah.
because it
I posted on Facebook thanking the a woman created the look of the gill man.
it didn't she just pass
And,
away?
yeah, yeah. I wished her a heavenly birthday.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that's
and
cool. Listen, I'm going to say a little spiel right now, okay? Because with Plan 9 Crunch. So we've
okay,
enjoyed talking to Joe Overbay. His most recent book is Dracula's Twins of Evil. Also, um, oh gosh, Demon of. Give me that title again. I'm
the
65 years.
demon in my
Demon
view.
in My View, which I just read, and I actually have an Amazon review on that, people, if you wanna get learn more about it. But Plan 9 Crunch, is a YouTube page, and this audio podcast will be on the page in the near future. And we're also at TikTok, and we're on Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog, and we have a conventional blog called plan9crunch.com. And so, Joe, thank you for your time very much. We appreciate it, okay?
I thank you for having me, sir.
All right, and that's a wrap.